Hi, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Spotlight. I'm so glad that you're here today. I have the intriguing Joyce Farinella with us today, and I'm so excited to have her. I just read her first book, and it's always just a little bit of an extra treat when I get to talk to someone who I've just read their work, right, or when I'm currently reading their work. It's the reader in me gets as happy as the author. So thank you so much for joining us today, Joyce.
Well, thank you for having me. It is a pleasure to be here.
Yes, for me too. So you have started the Fur and Feather series, which I kind of interpreted as like a cozy murder mystery series. Would you label it that way, or would you not consider it cozy?
No, I definitely consider it cozy. That was the genre I was going for, so I'm glad it fits.
Perfect. Love it. Yeah, so the first book is out, Barking Up the Wrong Tree. That's the one that I just recently read. And I absolutely love it. Both the main character, human and furry critter alike. Would you like to tell, a bit our viewers a little bit about the book?
Okay, sure. Yes, I would love to. My book is about Natalie Hunt. She is my main character. At the beginning of the book, she just had lost her job, and so she kind of stumbles into pet sitting as her new career, and starts Furs and Feathers as her business. And her first client is an adorable Pomeranian named Fussy, who, yes, is definitely quite a character. Labeled after my own Pomeranian, Palmer, so I took some license there. And she ends up kind of stumbling into a murder, and she is a person of interest because it's her first client. And so the book just kind of details her going through the process of finding suspects and eliminating them until she finds the killer.
Yeah. And I think the way that you wove the mystery is so clever, and it's so seamless, but there's no secret that every time the Pomeranian enters the scene that they steal the scene.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know that it was modeled after your own Pomeranian. So do you have your own Fussy, so to speak?
Well, I do. He's almost 15 years old, and I actually came up with this idea for the book several years ago, knowing at the time that I wanted him to be my first main pet character.
I love that. That's so cute. So what kind of got you there? I know you just said, you decided this a couple years ago, but how did you decide that this was the path that was right for you?
Well, I have always loved writing. From the time I was, 5, 6 years old, I was making up stories in my head. When I got old enough, I wrote them down. So it has been a lifelong dream for me to be a writer. And I've always loved solving mysteries. So the two just kind of went together. And as an adult, I got to reading cozy mysteries, starting with Joanne Fluke and some of the other early novelists then. And I love solving the mysteries without it being too tense. It was still a relaxing read, a great way to end a busy day, and of course the challenge of figuring out whodunit. And so as I read a lot of those, I kind of got the idea that I could probably write one of these. And this series was inspired by the fact that I also was a pet sitter for a long time. And so, years ago I got to thinking, this would make a great segue into a mystery series. And so I just kind of played around with the idea for a long time, and then about 2 years ago I officially started writing Barking Up the Wrong Tree.
That's awesome. I never would have thought of pet sitting to lend to a cozy mystery well, but it really does, and I'm so glad that I got the chance to experience that. What do you think was like the point, you know, while you were pet sitting where you were like, oh, this is, you know, interesting or unique, or, you know, what made it really stand out to you? Was it something that you stumbled into like Natalie, or was it something that you were like, oh no, this is actually something that I think, you know, just really works for me and something I want to try?
Well, there had always been a lot of animal cozy mysteries, and of course, you know, everybody, you know, in those, everybody has a sidekick, but it was always their pet, and the pet was involved in, you know, one way or another. Sometimes they're just there, you know, kind of for comic relief or whatever. But I had not seen anyone that did a pet sitting series and that would use different animals in each book. And like my second book that is coming out in March, the character there is a bird. And so my plan is through the series, I'm going to introduce different characters, and they're going to play a key role in the mystery. In fact, they're going to, you know, they are really going to have the key a lot of times to how the mystery, the direction it goes. And I had not read anything like that, so when I got the idea, I thought, okay, this is something a little bit unique.
I 100% agree with you. I think that it's totally unique. Oh, excuse me, but it blends so well, and especially with that cozy mystery vibe, which again is still something kind of new to me. You know, animals have tells, and I know that you've included some of them with Fussy, but as someone who owns many animals, you know, I've definitely had, you know, interactions where they're just really off about a person, and it kind of makes you wonder later, like, oh, I thought everything was fine with this person, but, like, my dog really dislikes them. Like, why? You know, and it can kind of get in your head. And I think a lot of us who are pet owners are so attached to our animals that, you know, we treat them like part of the family, and we trust their judgment. And so if they're acting off or suspicious, or if they really dislike a person, it's kind of like a loved one being like, hey, you know, I have some red flags, and it sparks curiosity and intrigue.
Yes, I agree, and that is why I, of course, started out with Fussy as my first main pet character, because I know my own Pomeranian so well, and actually later on I'm going to have one of my cats who has a quirky habit. He is also going to be the star of one of my mysteries.
Oh, I love that. I love when your own creatures, your own, you know, family get to make appearances. I'm such an animal lover, and I have been always. So I think it's definitely just something that clicks so well with me. But I think so many others are going to find it relatable and interesting as well. Now, you said that you have another book coming out, right? I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, it is called Polly Want a Killer, and it is about another pet sitting client that Natalie has. She takes care of a little cockatoo, and the owner dies, has a suspicious death, and it takes some time for them to rule it a murder, but during this time Natalie is trying to figure out the culprits for there too, and my little cockatoo plays a very interesting role. He is very unique. But still within all the habits that you would expect to see with a little bird like that. So that's just going to be kind of a continuation. The one thing is Fussy does appear in all of my books.
Oh, what a gem. I had no idea. That'll be fantastic. I was really happy that Fussy got to stick around by the end of the book. But what a great surprise that Fussy will be around. Do you have any other reoccurring characters? Like, are the friends that Natalie made in book one kind of going to stay in the same scenes, or, you know, are you looking to do kind of new characters with every book?
Well, yes, her main friends, they have a little group. I introduced them in book one, but they're definitely going to be more involved in the following books. Her best friend Peyton, who is gets very involved in the next book, and then there's a couple of older ladies that befriend Natalie. Annie and Gladys, they're also going to play a key role in there. I have my suspicions that they may end up taking some of the pets along the way. I remember, people saying you can't keep them all when you're talking about, having pets, and now I feel the same way with all my pet characters. I'm like, well, I can't keep them all.
That's so hard. I think my family would fail at that. So as you fight the good fight, I wish you the best of luck. We could never be fosters for that reason, because we would end up with all of them like, oh, this, we've developed this relationship and no one wants to keep them. Okay, we'll keep them. And then we would have 500 animals, which I'm sure my kid would love, but my husband and I probably slightly less so. Oh, well, that is super fun. I'm so excited to see some familiar faces come up around book 2. And you may have already mentioned it, but do you have a date that you're going live with book 2?
I don't have a specific date exactly, but I know it's going to be around the middle of March. It'll depend on when my editor gets it back to me, but I am planning to launch it the middle of March.
I'm so excited. If people want to follow you for either more information on Barking Up the Wrong Tree, book 1, or maybe they've already read it because it's fantastic and they should have read it, and they want to learn more about when the next Natalie Hunt story is coming, where's the best place to find information about you on social media or online?
Well, I have my own website. It's joycefarinella.com. You can sign up for the newsletter online there, and that will, of course, post my releases and even other things about me and my pets. And then I also have my Joyce Farinella author page on Facebook. That's the ones I'm most active on. I am on Twitter and Instagram as well. But I do most of my posts on Facebook.
Yeah, and I think Facebook is how we connected too. So that's proof in the pudding right there, right? Well, thank you so much for being with us today. I absolutely loved your mystery, and it was so fun as a reader. Like I said, even learning more about you as an author. It's just an extra special treat that I get, and the fact that you have your own Fussy makes me happy, and I look forward to seeing little cameos in the future throughout your other works.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. This has been a blast. I have really enjoyed it. So thank you.
Great. All right, and thank you everyone for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this as much as I have. You should go check out what book 2 looks like for the Fur and Feather series, and I can surely attest that book 1 is worth the read. It also, not only is it a cozy mystery, but it's also not crazy long. I found that I devoured it pretty quickly, which is awesome. It's really great, and it's worth the time and the effort, and it just kind of makes you feel good and fulfilled, and Fussy's adorable, so you should all love them. All right, bye everybody.